Well, joining us now, we have two guests here. We're going to talk a little bit about business in Maryland. First, Judy Britz, director of the Biocenter for Maryland. We want to thank you for being here this evening. And we are also joined by Johansson, Secretary for Business and Economic Development, also with the state of Maryland. Good evening. Thanks for both of you being here. Now, your specialty is sort of the biotech industry. We're going to get into that sort of in depth here in a second. But Secretary, we're going to start with you. We're going to just sort of start just generally here, since we just came out of a piece here talking about unemployment benefits. Let's talk about unemployment in Maryland. Generally, it was faring a little bit better than the rest of the country at its worst. How is Maryland doing now?
Well, Maryland has done better than the rest of the United States throughout this recession. As you just noted, we're coming out of this recession faster. Since February, we've created 55,000 jobs. The unemployment rate has gone down from 7.7 to 7.2%. Now, that's still too high, but that kind of improvement is what we'd like to see.
Was there a turning point that you can point to in terms of a timeline? Was it February? Was it March? Was it last month?
Well, I would say in March, I mean, obviously we had some record numbers. We led the nation in job creation in March. We're 2% of the population, generating 28,000 jobs, which is absolutely phenomenal.
And Judy, this obviously affects you as well. What are you seeing? I mean, you're out in the community, you're working out in the state. Does that sort of line up with sort of the things that you're seeing and that you're hearing?
Absolutely. The biotechnology industry actually has been quite vibrant and very resilient during this recession. So in spite of venture capital being very scarce, companies have been surviving on the cash that they have.
You know, and I know Maryland has done a couple of things to try to help not only get people back to work, but specifically for businesses, small and medium businesses, so that they can hire more people. Talk a little bit about that. What has the state been doing?
A couple things. We have the Job Creation and Recovery Tax Credit. We give a $5,000 tax credit to anybody who hires an unemployed Marylander. The second thing is that small business is critical to this recovery, and frankly, small business is going to be the most important component of any recovery. So we're guaranteeing small business loans, a portion of a loan, because the biggest issue they have is access to credit. They cannot get credit to grow that business, but we can guarantee a portion of that loan, and we can get them that credit. And so far, we've already had $6 million that we've settled or approved in terms of credit to small businesses.
And is that still ongoing, the $5,000?
That $5,000 is still ongoing.
It's still ongoing for businesses.
Yeah.
You know, how important do you think that is, that there are these incentives out there for people in the business world to hire people who are unemployed?
Well, I think it's quite critical, and in fact, Maryland is home to over 500 life science companies, many of which are relatively small, with between 10 and 12 average number of employees. So incentives for hiring the unemployed is a plus.
So is the worst of it over? A lot of people say yes. Do you think in Maryland specifically, things seem to be improving?
Things are improving. I mean, I don't want to, I have to be cautious in what I say,
Sure.
The fact is, for the last several months, we've been adding jobs. That jobs recovery has been broad-based. It hasn't been in one single industry. We've added last month 10% of all private sector jobs in America. People will say that, well, Maryland's close to the federal government. We benefit a lot from that, sure, but we still created 10% of all private sector jobs in America last month of only 2% of the population. So this isn't just that we're seeing the feds pulling us out of this. This is, frankly, across sectors in Maryland.
So certainly some good news in there. Sounds a lot better than where we were about a year ago anyway.
Much better.
Okay, we're going to pause for a quick break here. Both of you stick around. We're going to continue our conversation here, and we'll have more right after the break. All right, and welcome back. We're joined once again here by Johansson, Secretary of Business and Economic Development for the state of Maryland, as well as Judy Britz, Director of the Biocenter for Maryland. And I said we talk a little bit here about the biotech industry. So talk just a little bit about the Biocenter for Maryland, which is where you are. What's that all about?
Well, in 2007, Governor O'Malley launched a very bold strategic plan for life sciences called Bio 2020. It was intended to have a 10-year vision, but part of the implementation of that vision was creation of the Biocenter. The Biocenter is really a central point of access for entrepreneurs for information that they need in order to grow their companies.
Would you say the biotech industry is booming in Maryland? I've heard some people say that. Is it really that good?
The biotech industry, as I said before, is extraordinarily vibrant, and it has truly survived this crisis of a recession, despite there being a lack of access to capital through venture capital. And I think some of the programs that Maryland actually has initiated and that Secretary Johansson has recently proposed through Invest Maryland are really efforts to try and fortify the venture capital side.
And you know, that that's a good point to make here. You know, is there anything unique about Maryland? Not necessarily just sort of some of the incentives that are out there, but why is Maryland a particularly good place for the biotech industry? Why is it so vibrant here, as Judy says?
Well, we have the ecosystem in place for biotech to be successful. So if you look at the key components, right? One of the best educated workforces in the country, #1 in terms of PhDs in biosciences. Basic research and discovery from NIH to Johns Hopkins to University of Maryland. The federal facilities and the universities, we're by far the #1 per capita in sponsored research. So that innovation is occurring there as well.
You know, and I know one of the incentives that is out there is the Biotech Tax Credit, right? Talk a little bit about that, either of you. You want to jump in on this one and we'll explain what it is?
No, I'd be happy to.
Sure.
That is one of the most popular programs, and Maryland is unique in being able to offer it. It offers a 50% tax credit to investors willing to put money into biotech companies. So this year, for example, we actually for the first time did electronic submissions. Last year, entrepreneurs really stood in line 5 days and 5 nights to have access to this program. Also this year, in spite of the recession, it was increased from $6 million to $8 million. But it was so popular that in a minute and 13 seconds, we basically had over 100 investors vying for those tax credits.
Wow. So if people want to know information about that, if they're eligible, how to apply for, where do you find more information about it?
Online, www.maryland, spelled out, biocenter.org.
Have you been surprised that the biotech industry has been such a success in Maryland? Either of you? See, you saying no. He's saying no. He's not surprised.
No, I mean, some of this is having the right conditions, but the governor laid out $1 billion plan for this. Yes. He was just recognized as the Bio Governor of the Year by the National Bio Organization because Maryland has put in place the fundamental things in order to grow. And so we're seeing some of the benefits of that. We're reaping the fruits. We have the conditions to do this really well.
You know, and that title, I don't mean to interrupt you there, the title, the governor, what he got, what was the, it wasn't an award, he got the...
It's the bio organization that pulls together everybody in the industry.
Right. And
once a year they give a bio governor of the year. And for this year, Governor O'Malley was the bio governor of the year.
You know, and that sounds like it's maybe just sort of just a symbolic kind of thing, which it is, but does it, things like that you get nationally recognized for, does that have an impact on your industry?
Oh, it's incredibly important, especially as we try to attract other businesses to this state, not only from other states, but internationally. They recognize that the governor is really standing behind the promise of supporting the biotechnology industry. All
right, well, I want to thank both of you for coming in. Certainly good to hear some good news statewide across a number of industries, and also great to hear from someone who's involved in an industry that has done especially well given the time. So thank you both for coming in this evening. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil.